Why is there no GIL in the Java virtual machine? Why does Python need one so bad? I'm hoping someone can provide some insight as to what's fundamentally different about the Java virtual machine that allows it to implement threads nicely without the need for a global interpreter lock, GIL, while Python necessitates such an evil.
Python, the language, doesn't need a GIL, which is why it can perfectly be implemented on JVM, Jython, and .NET, IronPython, and those implementations multi-thread freely. Python, the popular implementation, has always used a GIL for ease of coding, especially the coding of the garbage collection mechanisms, and of integration of non-thread safe C-coded libraries. There used to be a ton of those around. The Unladen Swallow project, among other ambitious goals, does plan a GIL-free virtual machine for Python. To quote the site, in addition, we intend to remove the GIL and fix the state of multithreading in Python. We believe this is possible through the implementation of a more sophisticated GC system, something like IBM's Recycler, Bacon et al., 2001.
The JVM, at least Hotspot, does have a similar concept to the GIL, it's just much finer in its lock granularity. Most of this comes from the GCs in Hotspot, which are more advanced. In Python it's one big lock, probably not that true, but good enough for argument's sake. In the JVM it's more spread about with different concepts depending on where it is used. Take a look at, for example, vm/runtime/safepoint.hpp in the Hotspot code, which is effectively a barrier. Once at a safe point, the entire VM has stopped with regard to Java code, much like the Python VM stops at the GIL. In the Java world, such VM pausing events are known as stop the world. At these points, only native code that is bound to certain criteria is free running. The rest of the VM has been stopped. Also, the lack of a coarse lock in Java makes G much more difficult to write, as the JVM makes less guarantees about its environment for free calls, one of the things that Python makes fairly easy, although not as easy as using C types.
There is a comment down below in this blog post, this URL, that hints at the reason why it was so easy to dispense with a GIL for IronPython or Jython. It is that Python uses reference counting whereas the other two VMS have garbage collectors. The exact mechanics of why this is so I don't get, but it does sounds like a plausible reason.
In this link they have the following explanation. Parts of the interpreter aren't thread-safe, though mostly because making them all thread-safe by massive lock usage would slow single-threaded extremely. Source. This seems to be related to the Python garbage collector using reference counting. The JVM and CLR don't, and therefore don't need to lock/release a reference count every time. But even if someone thought of an acceptable solution and implemented it, third-party libraries would still have the same problems.
If you want to see more, please consider subscribing.